You don't avoid your dream because you don't care. You avoid it because you care so much that failing at it would hurt more than never trying. And that's the part nobody talks about, because from the outside it looks like laziness. You say you want more money, more freedom, a better body, a better life. You want to finally become that version of yourself you keep imagining at 2 a.m. But then morning comes, and somehow the dream that felt so powerful last night becomes too heavy to touch today. So you scroll, you clean your room, you watch one more video about success. And for a second you feel inspired again. But deep down, you know the truth. You didn't move closer to your dream. You only escaped the guilt of not starting. Our little character, Leo, knew this feeling too well. Every night he would imagine himself living a completely different life. He imagined checking his bank account and not feeling panic. He imagined buying gifts without calculating every dollar. He imagined walking into a room and not feeling small. To Leo, money was never just money. It was safety, respect, freedom, proof that his life could still become something. But every time he tried to start, his chest got tight. Because starting meant risking the fantasy. If he never started, he could still say, "I have potential." But if he started and failed, then what? That fear quietly controlled his whole life. And neuroscience explains why. Your brain is built to protect you from pain, not to chase your dreams. So when your dream feels connected to shame, failure, judgment, or money pressure, your brain doesn't see action as opportunity. It sees action as danger. That's why scrolling feels easy. That's why planning feels safe. That's why watching motivational videos feels like progress, because your brain gets a small reward without facing the risk. This is the dopamine trap. Planning gives you the feeling of becoming someone. Action forces you to actually become them. And that is uncomfortable. Leo didn't have a consistency problem. He had an identity problem. He still saw himself as someone who starts and quits. So even when he worked hard for 2 days, his brain whispered, "This isn't you." And he went back to the old version. Not because he was weak, because the old version felt familiar, and the familiar always feels safer than the future. So here's the fix. Stop trying to feel motivated. Start collecting evidence. Your brain doesn't believe promises, it believes proof. Not big proof, real proof. A tiny action that directly attacks the old story you keep telling yourself. If your old story is, "I never finish," your proof is finishing one small thing today. If your old story is, "I'll never make money," your proof is learning one money skill today. If your old story is, "I'm not disciplined," your proof is doing the thing before your brain negotiates. Not later, not tonight. Before the excuse gets dressed up as logic. Leo started doing something different. Every morning before touching his phone, he asked one question. What evidence would make me respect myself tonight? That question changed everything. Because now the goal wasn't to become rich in one day. It wasn't to fix his whole life by Friday. It was to create one receipt. One identity receipt. A small piece of evidence that said, "I am not just a dreamer anymore." Some days his receipt was writing one page. Some days it was applying for one better opportunity. Some days it was learning one skill that could increase his income. And some days when he felt broken, his receipt was simply not quitting. But slowly something changed. He didn't suddenly become fearless, he became harder to fool. When his brain said, "Do it tomorrow," he could look at yesterday's proof and say, "No, I'm someone who shows up." That's how confidence is built. Not by affirmations, by evidence. So today, don't make a giant plan. Make a receipt. Ask yourself, what is one action that future me would thank me for? Then do it before your mood votes against you. Because your dream is not asking for perfection, it is asking for a signal that you're done being loyal to the version of you that keeps quitting. And maybe tonight when you lay in bed, you won't just imagine a better life. You'll have proof that you started building one. Comment proof if today is the day you stop only dreaming and finally give your future self something real.